Hey everyone, Cherokee Steve here, Cheap Air Gunner channel. I'm not in my basement. I am on a break at work and just hanging out in my car. But I thought I'd make a quick video. I was taking some notes as I think about this project, this 1322 Crossman project. I've been putting in almost as much thought into what I'm not going to be doing as what I have planned to do to the gun. So I thought I'd talk about some of the things I'm not going to be doing and why I won't be doing them. At the top of the list is install a steel breech. I'm not going to be doing that. Number one factor is cost. Although I believe in the end this is going to be a great giveaway as far as the pistol itself and the modifications that will be made to it. Steel breech almost doubles the cost immediately. It's about $10 less than the cost of the pistol itself. Now, it is the easiest way, and believe me, I've got the steel breech upgrade on both my 2240 and my 2289 backpacker. Can't say enough. It's a great upgrade, and if you're going to mount optics, it certainly is the way to go. One of the things I've been checking out though is some of the aftermarket choices that are out there nowadays as far as mounting optics to a stock 13 series gun without changing the breech. The ones that are usable with the stock polymer breech. There are some really cool ones out there, much superior. I would not recommend the Crossman mounts that simply clamp onto the barrel. There is too much movement to the barrel now. You stop and you think about if there's a way to come up with some pressure points, mounting something to the barrel that puts pressure equally on different areas of the barrel, and can incorporate some support, possibly with the pump tube itself or the stock breech itself. That would be a viable alternative, and they're out there. There are some really good. Let's see. I was just watching a video by Big J's Outdoors and Airguns. He went about mounting an aftermarket optic mount onto his Crossman that still has the stock breech on it. So I'm thinking about possibly going that way if I do mount anything. There are choices out there that when you look at the videos and reviews for the products, they all seem to be receiving some good thumbs ups and good comments as far as how secure they are. So possibly go that route, but I can't see spending the amount on a steel breech that it unfortunately costs. The other thing I'm not going to be doing is aftermarket power and or trigger upgrades. I'm going to be focusing specifically on using what comes with the pistol. There are choices that, if you have a 1377, a 1322, and you do not feel comfortable working on it yourself, there are plenty of options out there. Aftermarket valves that have already had work done to them to increase the air storage capacity inside of them. You can go that route. Heavier hammers, all of that. Heavier hammer springs, lighter valve springs, specific parts inside the valve that you can purchase and upgrade themselves. I'm going to try to stick to some of the things I have available already based on previous projects, and spring kit that I have already. But I'm going to not go and purchase, obviously, an aftermarket valve. Quite frankly, the work I'm planning on doing to the valve itself is going to, pretty much equate what you would get by purchasing an aftermarket one. It's going to involve some time and some patience and some tooling, but it's going to equal the same thing using what pretty much what is there already with the stock gun. One other thing I will not be doing, and I will not be installing, and there's been some inquiring about it, and that's the flat top valve and a flat top piston. Now, it's really important that to understand the concept behind the flat top valve and the flat top piston. It truly, in my opinion, is not a power upgrade. It is a pump efficiency upgrade. Once you have done modifications to your valve to increase the air storage capacity inside your valve, it's going to involve additional pumping. There's just no way to get around it. The additional pumping is going to equate to needing to reinforce and make certain parts of the gun stronger than stock, or more reinforced, let's put it that way, than stock. But it's still a pump efficiency upgrade. And what I mean by that is you've got a cone shape at the end of your valve, and you machine that off. So it's basically at the end that has the cone shape, which is where the air gets forced into the valve from the pumping action. It's now flat. You've removed a considerable amount of material. Now on the piston end, normally you can't really use the stock piston to make a flat top piston. It involves a complete replacement concept. But at the end of the stock piston, you have a rubber pump cup, which extends out, and inside of it has pretty much the same open conical shape that fits over the cone shape of the valve. So that is not needed with a flat top piston. So once you've eliminated that cup and you've eliminated the cone at the end of the valve, that now is open area that is taken up by air. So each pump stroke that you're using with a flat top piston and a flat top valve is forcing more air into the valve than if you had a standard valve and a standard piston. Now, the valve, regardless of whether it's stock or it's been modified, it's only capable of holding a finite amount of air. So what the flat top piston and flat top valve actually do is give you the ability to fill that valve with the maximum amount of air with fewer pumps than it would take with a standard valve and a standard piston. So there is certainly an advantage there. I'm not going to disagree with that point whatsoever. Just a hypothetical situation is, what might take after I've modified and opened up my valve, and it may take 30 pumps to get it completely filled with the maximum amount of compressed air that it can hold. There's only so much something's going to give. Something's going to O-ring is going to pop. something is going to crack or break. It can only hold so much compressed air, regardless of how it's being filled and how many pumps it's taking to fill it. But when I achieve that high amount of compressed air that I want to fit in there, with a flat top piston and valve, it may take 30 pumps. Now with a standard valve, with that cone-shaped end and the standard piston with the cup on it, and that decreased amount of air, the area and air in between a backed off piston with the pump handle completely open and the fixed position of the valve, when I close it and that piston forces air and moves up against the valve, I have less travel and less air that it's pushing in. It's going to take more pumps. It may take 40 pumps to get that same amount of air into the valve that it took 30 pumps with the flat top piston and the flat top valve. That's really the purpose. Now, you can definitely make the point that from a power standpoint, 30 pumps from one particular setup, the flat top valve and the flat top piston, is going to generate more power than 30 pumps from a standard valve and a standard piston. So if you want to look at it that way, I guess yes, it is a power upgrade if you're planning on the same amount of pumps. If you're the type of person like me, you don't mind pumping more, and you've modified the gun so it's not really that much more difficult to do the extra pumping, and you can get that air into the valve that you would get with the 30 pumps in the flat top valve and flat top piston, and that extra 10 pumps, the 40 pumps, and that's, like, again, I'm just throwing that particular number out there. May take less, may take more. All depends on what you've done to the valve. But I'm not going to be doing that. That's it certainly, you can pull up videos on modifying your valve to be a flat top valve and what's involved with manufacturing your own flat top piston. Again, there's plenty of aftermarket parts out there, valves and pistons, flat tops, that you can go with. I'm not going to go that route, and I don't mind doing the extra pumping to get that extra air that I need to get in with a standard valve and a standard piston. So if I can produce the same amount of power by doing some more pumping with the standard valve and the standard piston, I don't mind that. Now, all of this, given the fact that I'm going over certain things I'm not going to do, at the end of all this, when I give the pistol away, this is all open to whoever wins it. You can choose to go about modifying and changing out anything you want, and that's more power to you, so to speak. You want to go with a flat top valve and a flat top piston, by all means do so. You want to see if a particular aftermarket valve gives you more powerful shots than the valve and the condition it's going to be, the stock valve, after I modify it, by all means do so. You want to install steel breech, by all means do so. This is just things I've thought about and made some decisions, and some of them not so easy. The steel breech was something I really debated on doing or not doing, but I was really, again, just really happy with seeing all the choices that a few years ago were not out there, as far as securely mounting an optic to your 13 series Crossman pistol. Just wasn't available a few years ago, and being able to do that securely with the stock breech now, that's awesome. And it's really piqued my curiosity into checking something out that goes that particular route. So that's it. Just wanted to do some explaining on what I will not be doing. And I'll probably bring it all up again when I do get to these particular areas of the pistol itself and working on it and modifying certain things. Um, I'll probably be going over the fact that I'm not going to be replacing the breech. I'm not going to be doing a flat top valve and piston. I am not going to be doing aftermarket power upgrades or trigger upgrades. There are things you can do with the stock stuff to make it better. So that's what I'm going to focus on. And that's just, the way it is in this particular situation. So thank you for checking this out. Shoot safe, stay safe, and take care.